Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Believe in Tennessee Football. I'm your host, as always, Kyler Kervison, joined with Reed Bacon. It's game week, baby. We're starting. I can't believe it. It is here. It is upon us. We are so excited. Tomorrow, the Vols are taking on Ball State. And, oh, man, it feels good. Football is back. Football is back. Before we get into all of that, please, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and please leave a comment. We always love to see them. If you're listening, rate and review, download and re-download, and as always, share with your friends and family. It helps us so much. Get the word out there that we have this thing going on. But on this week's podcast, we're talking about Ball State. We are breaking down who they are, what kind of guys they have on their team, what can we possibly see out of them, and what do we need to do as a team? Because with this game, we understand it's not Pitt, it's not Florida, it's not LSU, it's Ball State. But how can we get better? What do we need to do to prepare for maybe those teams down the line? We also talk about William Mohan in that sad situation, and give you guys a lock of the week. It is something we are going to start. Every week, we're going to give you a lock on a bet, and hopefully we do pretty well this year, but we shall see. So without further ado, let's get into it.
The game. Snap. The kick is in the air, and the kick this time is no, sir-ree. No, sir-ree. Final score, Tennessee 20, Florida 17. Pandemonium reigns.
Loads up, fires long for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught by Tennessee. Tennessee wins! Caught it by Tennessee. Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch in the end zone on the Hail Mary.
Down to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. What did he do? All he did was score. Joey Pence, touchdown on play number 1.
All right, so before we get into the podcast, we got to shout out our number one sponsor, betonline.ag. You guys know I say it every podcast. It is the place to go for all your betting news and odds and sports, everything. This is the place, okay? With BetOnline, you get the most up-to-date fighting news. You get to bet on MLB games going on right now, NFL. I mean, you can bet on anything. Team total wins, division wins, individual players, all of it, okay? So now is the time to sign up. At BetOnline, you can sign up on your mobile device, or you can go online, get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code BELIEVE at checkout. That's BLEAV, and you get that 50% welcome bonus. So listen, y'all, please use that. Please go to BetOnline when you're doing all your sports betting. It makes things a lot more fun and a lot more interesting. And I always love them. They're the place to go. BetOnline. It's where the game starts. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Another amazing podcast. It is game week, baby. It is game week. I'm so damn excited, even though we are playing trash-ass Ball State. I'm very excited. Before we get into the game breakdown and a little bit of news surrounding the program, Reed, how we doing, bud?
trash at Ball State.
Man, I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking.
Yeah, I got the old Ball State website up right now, sponsored by Ball State Financial. They got a game day counter here. 4 days, 1 hour, 18 minutes, 32 seconds, 31 seconds, 30 seconds. Till they get that ass whoop, boy.
You're that close.
Really, they know it. We know it. Everyone knows it. They're just showing up.
It's like 33 and a half points.
Yeah, they're just showing up to get their check and just let us beat up on them. And you know what? I like both of the games where you either have the big game, first game of the year, like when we did West Virginia or Bristol, or West
Yeah,
Virginia and Charlotte, or Virginia Tech and Bristol. But I also don't mind this one, because the reason I don't mind this one is because we have next week to go at Pitt. So it's like
exactly.
let's get our feet up under us. Let's see what's going on, and then let's go up there and to Pitt and just bust some cheeks.
I'm telling you, from a player's perspective, like this is a fantastic game. Like I loved it as a backup and as a starter. As a backup, I'm like, hell yeah, I might get to freaking play, dude. Like beat the shit out of them and let me play in the second half, which my redshirt freshman year we did versus Austin P. It was like 42 or 45 to nothing at halftime, and twos got in to start the second half. It was awesome. And then as a starter, it was great because it was like, all right, let me go out 2 quarters, get nice and warm, get a good lather going, put some people in the dirt, win this game, get some confidence up, and go into Pitt. And it was also like, in a way, so a lot of guys struggle with like how they view practice, because they don't view it as a time to try things. They don't view it as a time to, practice on stuff. And a game like this is the ultimate time to practice on things. Instead of practicing a set versus this 5-star Alabama defensive end, let's practice that set on this 2-star at Ball State. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's hammer out those little things that you've been working on, and like maybe your hand placement or where your foot is, where like all that kind of stuff. Let's hammer it out now in this game and then get into Pitt.
Yeah. I mean, it's so it's preseason for college because
Exactly.
because really the only preseason we have when we're in camp is when we are just going up against each other, and you usually have probably 3 scrimmages throughout camp.
Yeah.
I remember the one where we went over to the Liberty Bowl for like the big scrimmage or whatever, and it was like hotter than absolute freaking Hades over there in Memphis. But yeah, so this is the preseason, and as a player too, everyone's like, yeah, but how hype are you knowing that like maybe first game of the year is if it is a big time home game against a good time opponent, like say if Pitt's coming here or we're going up there first game of the year, or first game of the year is in Atlanta versus whoever, and it's like, well, aren't you more fired up for that than against Ball State? And as a player, it's like, technically when they both games happen, yes, you are more like probably juiced, but it doesn't matter what the first game of the year is, you are just so fired up to get out there that I don't really think it makes a difference whether you're playing Ball State at home or you're playing West Virginia and Charlotte. Like, you're just amped to let loose, like let the dogs off the chain and let's go hunt. Like, so I don't think, I'm just kind of answering that almost as a question from like the fan's perspective, like, oh, wouldn't you rather do this? But it's cool. Like I remember, go back to high school and you go and like it's a scrimmage and you go out there and have your however many possessions, and then after the scrimmage you kind of get to unbuckle and chill and watch the younger guys and just think it's so cool over there.
Hey, if you find pictures of me like my last year of playing, I had my hands like this. I had taped up. I had each of my top knuckles taped. My hands were taped like this, and my thumbs, I had like plastic holders that held my thumb like that, taped on my thing, and then my wrist taped also. So I was like this when I played. So when I got out, I'm just sitting there on the bench, just like unwrapping all that shit, just like, it's still so much. I was just trying to save my hands, dude, because it would happen no matter what. Every training camp or every spring practice, I get a finger bent back or bent out or thumb go back, and like the ligaments inside, and like every single one of my top knuckles, they don't look right. Like they look a little messed up. And I've dislocated 2 fingers. Actually, I think I've done it like 3 fingers, but it's always just like, man, I mean, you can hear it.
Ooh, I can hear him popping.
Yeah. Every time I open and close my hands, like it happens. So I always love that. Like, just start taking shit off on the sideline. It was so good.
Yeah, it's like Big Boy sitting over there in your own table. You're like, sup, Lance? Yeah, sup? Where we going tonight? No, but so yeah, first game is just like, oh my gosh. It's just incredible. Like, you're just ready to go out there and let loose. And like I said, I'm happy Ball State's coming up to just take one on the chin for us. And it's just going to be it's going to be a great game. Anyways, we kind of didn't ask, but how's your weekend been?
It's been fine. We're still trying to find certain storage things to help throughout the house. The new rental home, and we spent time like finding my wife a vanity and trying to look for a desk, and we're also trying to look for like an entryway desk area thing where you can throw your keys and like my laptop bag and wallet.
You didn't find that yet?
Huh?
I thought that's what you were doing yesterday. Did you not find one?
No, we didn't find one because it's got to fit the specific area and be like the exact measurements. So, and then there's just like all these different things I have to put together. Obviously, because my wife is not going to put them together. And it's like, here's a basket that goes on the inside of a cabinet drawer that I need put together to help store stuff. Here's this calendar I need, to put onto the fridge. Here's like this and that. And then, we got this vanity, and it's like, all right, fix the mirrors. And like, dude, it's been a lot. And it's always the most frustrating when you get into a project, and people who own homes, or literally anybody, when you get into a project and then you open it up and then it's like, oh shit, man, I got to do a lot more than I thought. Like, you opened it thinking, oh yeah, I just got to shift this thing and close it back up. Nope, not at all. Nope, it's not staying where it's supposed to. You got to figure out a different option for it. And then you're just like, I thought this was going to take 30 minutes. It has been an hour and a half. And it's the worst. It literally, I hate it so much when that happens. But besides that, I've had a very good weekend. I did my little fantasy draft last night with my work.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, do you do fantasy, or you really don't? Really, you just
I don't really. I haven't since high school. And the guys in my work were like, "Let's do one." There's literally 8 total people on it, so it makes for a lot of fun because everyone's got good players.
Yeah.
And I think I have a great team.
Who'd you go with first pick?
First pick was Austin Eckler, running back for the Chargers.
Ooh, dude, Austin Eckler is an absolute nightmare.
Nasty.
He's so good. What pick did you?
I had the number 6 pick.
Okay.
Of the draft, and I'll tell you my team trying from memory. Tom Brady, quarterback. Wide receivers are Jamar Chase and Keenan Allen. Running backs are Austin Eckler and Nick Chubb. Tight end is Kyle Pitts.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This team is nasty.
The two flex guys are Terry McLaurin, wide receiver from Washington.
Oh, we know.
Damn, I'm forgetting who the other one was. I know kicker, I got Justin Tucker from Baltimore.
Nice. Oh, yes.
He's ridiculous. And then defense, I got LA Rams defense.
Nice.
Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, that was my other
very nice
guy.
Yeah,
and then I got sitting on the bench. I got Melvin Gordon III. I got Alan Lazard, Devontae Smith, Derek Carr as a backup quarterback. So like, this is gonna be fun. A lot of points. Very excited.
It's kind of nice to when you only have 8 people, because everyone's team is good. Like, your team's stacked. I'm assuming everyone else's is pretty stacked too. But you did that draft last night.
What did you say?
You did it today or last night?
Last night, yeah. I got a nice old medium pizza from Domino's and sat there and ate slices and picked pick players to make fake points for me. It was fun.
No, bro, I love my first fantasy draft is tomorrow. I love it. I mean, it's a nice, relaxing night, like you said. Grab some pizza, grab some food, sit there, get into it. I love it. So I'm excited for mine tomorrow. But yeah, pretty good weekend over here. Friday, I started off the weekend with an absolute banger, and that was I took a nap after work. so I mean, the post work Friday nap's like kind of incredible.
I mean, it's great for late night people, but I mean, what time did you go to bed?
I probably stayed up till like 1:30 maybe. So I've been grinding on the Madden. I got the new next gen Xbox. I got the new Madden. Your boys just up there just getting after it. And
but I mean, is it even that good? Is it good compared to the last ones, or is it the same old Madden?
Kyler, if I could express this to you any more than just saying it, I would. But the fact that I was able to find the new, because I was not really looking. I can't remember if I told the story on here or not, but I wasn't really actively looking for one because everyone was talking about how hard they are to find, and it's always like, oh yeah, I got a new Xbox. Like, oh cool, would you find one? And you're like, well, I bought one from a guy off like eBay, and I had to pay like $1,500. I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't care enough. But when I was down in Naples with Ariel, I just was walking out of like I think it was like a Golf Galaxy or like one of their big golf stores. I see a GameStop. So it was like, hey, do you guys have the new Xbox? They're like, no, we don't. But one of our stores down towards Marco Island does. And I was like, okay. So I called him. I was like, I know you can't hold it, but like, I'm literally like on my way now. And like, I'm not there coming to look at it. Like, I'm going to buy it. And so they're like, okay, cool. So I went and bought it. And the funny thing is I had it for like, no kidding, like a month. And I didn't even set it up because I was just waiting for the new Madden.
Yeah.
You know me, like I absolutely love Madden. Like it's like I even back in the day growing up, like I would rather play Madden than NCAA when I was younger. I'd play both, of course, obviously, but I would choose Madden. But it was worth the $550 for the Xbox and the whatever amount, $60-$70 for the game, because it is new. It is different than the Xbox One games. I feel like the Xbox One Madden has been the same for like 3 years running now. So it's nice to be like, okay, like it is a completely different game. Like the new gen, next gen, whatever is different. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I always just felt like it was always the same. I was definitely more of an NCAA guy. So I'm very like, what NCAA has this monopoly on almost every video game player. Like, they could charge $100 for that video game when it comes out, and it will still sell out. Like, and it's crazy because new games are usually 60, 70. Like, they could charge whatever they want, and I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, next year when that one comes out, they could legitimately charge $150 and $200 people. But you think about it, if they charge $150, like, if you play Xbox a good amount, like everyone was talking, like my Xbox One's still fine. They're like, well, why do you need a new one? It's like, bro, it's $550. Like I don't ever have a laptop. Like I've never bought a laptop for personal. I've had a laptop for college, and it wasn't anything special. It was just like it was decently nice. And then I've had laptops given to me from my work. Yeah. But like I don't need to go out and buy a computer or home laptop. So like an Xbox for me is like the big electronic purchase. It's $550, and I play it all, a lot, and I'm going to have it for years. So it's not like I'm not worried about, spending the money on it. So definitely with a video game that you're going to play a bunch out of.
I mean, with the amount of hours you get out of it, it like makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then Saturday, woke up, played golf, played well. Holston's punched their greens. So I went up to Ruggles Ferry, played well. Did something I haven't done in a long time that I can even remember. But I had 2 birdies in like 4 holes. So like I don't remember the last time I've done that. So needless to say that, and it was to start it was kind of like, I think it was hole 2 and like hole like 6 maybe. Yeah. Hole 5. So I'm like, wow, okay. This is like starting off to be
Reed was amped. Let's say that.
No, you got to stay down because you still have a lot of golf to play, and you don't want to be super amped and then go out and have like a 9 on a hole. Yeah. So but yeah, and then just church today and another nap. So, 2 naps in one weekend is absolutely awesome. So did I ever tell you how much I love King of Queens, the sitcom show?
Yeah.
So
It was on last time I was there.
Because when you were here, I had it on in the background when we were doing the post practice podcast.
I was like, you got to turn this shit off. It's distracting.
I go through that with different shows. Like back in the day, I loved Modern Family, then ran its course, and then I loved Impractical Jokers for like a year or two, and then it like ran its course. And so right now, for the past like 3 or 4 months, I like King of Queens. I'm just obsessed with. I just thought about it because there's one where Doug and Deacon it's a Friday afternoon and they're like walking to Doug's house. It's like, the weekend. Deacon's like, what do you got planned? And Doug's like, the weekend to me is like a blank canvas and I'm the artist. And so Deacon's like, all right, yeah, so what are you going to do with it? And he goes, and Doug grabs a beer out of the refrigerator and he goes, naps, lots of naps.
Yeah, so that's what your weekend is like.
Yeah, that was my weekend, was naps. But yeah, so I'm excited to do this, excited to talk.
Yes.
Ball State. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk Willie Mohan real quick. We're going to talk our Ball State, and then we're going to do a new segment all year this year, which will be freaking hilarious because like I do like to gamble. So like I will hopefully have a decent prediction, but like Kyler doesn't really gamble, so it should be entertaining. But we're going to do a lock of the week, and this can be NFL or college.
Okay. I don't really gamble too much. I just never have been. Like I was the kid when I got money for like my birthday and Christmas, like I saved it. Like I never bought anything for myself. So I've always been like that, just like don't spend your money on things. So that's why I don't necessarily gamble unless I'm very confident in it, or it's like I'm gambling on myself is what I usually like to do. Like fantasy football, for instance, like I'm gambling on myself. It doesn't have like a bunch of luck. It's like, all right, well, how can you break down these players? Like, do you think they would have a good game? Are you looking into it? All that kind of stuff. Or like betting, like, yeah, I'll beat you in basketball, or yes, I'll beat you in this race, or yeah, like if I trust myself, then I'll do it. But I'm very excited for that. That will be fun.
Well,
I have no idea how good I will do because I think I'm just going to be like, yeah, that team is better than that team. I think they will win that game. But then it's like, well, by how much can they cover? I don't know.
Well, the thing about it is gambling is gambling. Like like it is like you never know. So there's people that really look into it, like go in depth, do all this stuff. Like me, I still just go off my gut feeling. Like I feel like if I get too technical about it, I'll overthink stuff. So I just try to go with my gut. But I'm also not a huge gambler. Like you don't catch me going to casinos and doing a bunch of stuff like that. Like the only thing I just like to do sports gambling because, like you said, like I feel like I have some sort of control because like of my knowledge of watching, my gut feelings, how I'm like kind of gauging how the things are going in the season.
Yeah.
But then also, it still like gives me some competition. So it's like that is also a reason why I like doing it. But yeah, only thing I'm going to do it is if, like you said, like I'm going to go play golf or I'm going to play someone in, an Xbox game or like something I kind of have control of. I'm not just going to go, spin a wheel or a slot machine somewhere.
No, definitely not. Blackjack will get you killed. All right.
Like
so what'd you say?
I'll stay. Sir, I suggest you hit. I also like to live dangerously.
If anybody doesn't know the reference, Reed is talking about Austin Powers in the blackjack table. That scene. I'll stay. Sir, I suggest you hit. He's got like
5. He's got 5.
He's got 5. He's got 3 to 2. And then he's like, I'll stay. They all look at him. And he's looking at the dealer. And then he looks over at number 2 and he goes, I also like to live dangerously.
I'll stay.
I suggest you hit, sir.
I also like to live dangerously.
We love that movie for everyone
So
that doesn't know. We love Austin Powers. So
Hilarious. All right, let's go into something not so lighthearted. Willie Mohan has been suspended After being arrested for I mean, I didn't read into it. I'm guessing domestic violence, something, correct?
It was bad, man. I've actually read it, and I read some of that stuff about the Matt whatever guy, the punter for the Bills that got released. I mean,
Oh,
both of
yeah.
them were brutal, but like, yeah, supposedly Willie showed up some girl's house. He was drunk. He tries like to force her to have sex. She's like, no. He gets kind of physical with her and like I think pushes her up against the wall. She was able to get away. Her and her roommate are like trying to get him out. Like I think someone grabbed something, some sort of object to maybe try to like use against him. And I think they get him out of the apartment, lock the door, and they think he's gone. But then he's like still like beating on the door, trying to get back in. So just a terrible situation. Now you and I both know, or I feel like I know how you feel about this because we talked about like you and I both are very much like we're not gonna like throw stones or act like we know what happened. We're not there, bro. Like we're not there. So like I'm not gonna believe, you know, there's three sides to every story, yours, mine, and somewhere, the truth somewhere in the middle type deal. But like, obviously, if this is true, like this is terrible. And like, we don't want anybody around on a football program that we root for or any of that stuff like that. Like we don't want someone like that. And granted, we all make mistakes. So I'm not also going to sit here and act like I've never done something that I was very sorry about, very embarrassed about. Definitely when alcohol gets involved, it's not ideal. But so hopefully Willie can learn from this and become a better person from this. And if it happened, if all of it is true, but yeah, it's just not a good situation. And if it did happen and it comes out that everything is true, then yeah, I don't want the guy on our football team, and he'll have to pick up the pieces somewhere else.
Yeah, I completely agree. If everything like you just described is true, like you definitely don't want him on the team. And it's really upsetting that this happens. There were incidences of this when I was there. And I mean, the real issue is this toxic view of masculinity with these guys, that because they are big and strong and fast and they're supposed to be violent on the field and they're seen as cooler than everyone else because they're football players, they get this overbuilt sense of superiority and this, the way to be masculine is to be physically dominating over people. And it's just sad that that's your existence. And you turn that into, well, I'll be physically dominating and get what I want. And that's just not how the world works. And it's really sad to see. I absolutely hate that scenario. Like, I don't think they actually realize how much fear women have with men, because any man, average size man, can move, push, grab any woman. Like they can. They're just naturally bigger, stronger, and everything like that. So like that's why as men, it's our job to be careful with women, to appreciate them, to not take advantage of that, and be smart about who we are. So I very much feel bad for the victims. It sounds like they probably knew William before this, so I'm hoping they are able to eventually forgive him. And I hope the best for William and his recovery mentally, and hopefully he gets to a better place in life. But it's never a guarantee when something like this happens. So just it stinks. It sucks. I mean, it doesn't matter if he wasn't going to play or not. It's still just like a shitty situation.
Yeah, I don't think either of us ever wish bad on somebody. Like I said, we feel terrible for the girl and for her roommate. It's a scary situation for sure.
Yeah.
And you always think about it. You always put yourself. You have a sister. I have a sister. We both put ourselves in a situation. It's like if you think of ever something like that happening to a sister, or our moms, or for whatever reason, and it's just like it's just scary. It's terrifying, and it's obviously then if it happens to someone then it's infuriating. But yeah, and also he came from Michigan. We're his second school, and it's like he's got to live with the consequences. But it also it stinks because I don't know if he's going to get another opportunity for a mistake, and that's what's so crazy about life, that you can make one mistake and it can really alter everything for sure.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and talk about something more light, and that is how we're going to go ahead and put up a lot of points. And as you see, I got my coaches. If you're watching on YouTube, I've got my last year's coaches. Maybe they wear.
Are you gonna wear that when we go to the Florida game? Because I got you sideline passes, so you'll just be like, no, I'm a coach. I don't have to go anywhere. They're like, hey, the game's about to start. You got to leave. You're like, whoa, I'm a coach. I'm a coach. I got my tag.
Yeah, I wear the hat. I wear the hat, and I get the golf pants that they all wear. I'm like, I pull the hat way down low, like I'm some GA.
You steal one of the headphones and go ahead and just put them on because they're just sitting over on the sideline before the game starts.
All I'm going to be is anytime someone makes a big play, I'm just the first guy that greets him off the sideline. And they're like, who the fuck is this? Like,
you're a get back coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, coach. Come on, hype. Back up. You just
see me continually grabbing hype on his butt. It's like, come on, get back, come on, pulling him by his pants. So I got Ball State stuff pulled up here.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, I just realized, no, I will not probably wear this against Florida. I don't want to get anything dirty on it, so I'll probably wear my old school. I don't know. Since we've been doing this podcast, I've gotten a lot more UT swag. I'll pull it out next week, but I just got a new sweatshirt hoodie that came in. It's pretty dope. So, but yeah. We'll see what happens. You guys see what the weather's like for that day. Okay. So Ball State they were 6-7 last year. Conference was 4-4. They were 3-3 at home, 3-3 away. I mean, they started last year with a win against Western Illinois, but only by 10 points. So it's Then they go to Penn State, and which is kind of the version of us this year, where they're going to go collect a check, and they lost 13-44.
So I still scored some points.
I personally feel like, I'll just go ahead and tell people my lock of the week as of right now is the Tennessee game. I haven't looked yet to see if I'm going to do a first quarter bet or a first half bet overall. And I usually don't bet Tennessee, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But then they go to Wyoming and get blasted 12-44. That's kind of funny. It was 13-44 and then 12-45 at Wyoming. Then Toledo, 12-22. They finally get a win, and this is a kind of nice little win, honestly, for Ball State against Army. That I actually think that's because of how difficult that could be, but they won at home at Ball State 28-16. They beat Western Michigan, so they kind of had a nice little turnaround, beat Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. They lost their homecoming to Miami of Ohio.
The worst.
So I've kind of read it off. So it's and the other thing is too, this is the first game of the year. I know you probably did more background maybe than I did. I don't know who transferred out. I don't know if they got any transfers in. I don't know how many people they lost. I mean, obviously I'm picking us to win, and this game is more about Tennessee for me and how we play and how we handle our business and all that stuff. But do you have anything else on Ball State?
Yeah. So I just kind of looked into their guys that are on the team now, trying to figure out do they have experience? Are they, pretty good players? Have they started a lot? So you start at the quarterbacks. It is John Paddock is their starting quarterback. He doesn't have a start under his belt. He's been a backup for 3 years now, and has gotten in whenever they've been getting killed or whatever, they're killing somebody. Like that's the only time he's gotten in, and he's been fine. But this is his actual like first start, and the fact that it's in,
is it easy first start going on the road?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And the fact that he's
Neyland?
in Neyland is going to be quite intimidating for him. So that makes me feel good for us. It does make me feel like they will lean on the run a lot. And I would too if I was playing us, because I would not want us to have the ball. I would try and run the clock as much as I possibly could. So I think they're going to lean on the run. Plus, they didn't lose any starters on the offensive line last year. So everybody who played is coming back this year. There's 2 guys on there that have like multiple years of experience. So I think their strongest suit is running the ball, is their offensive line. I think their tight ends are seen as like pretty good pass catchers. Pretty big dudes too. So I think a lot of that stuff is going to be like play action to the tight end, dump off to maybe a tight end screen, stuff like that. So I don't see a bunch of intricate stuff out of them on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, they have a linebacker, Brandon Martin, who in 2020 won co-MAC Defensive Player of the Year, and last year was just dealing with injuries, only played in 5 games. But this year is his 7th year. It is his 7th year in college. He got redshirted. He got the extra year from COVID, and he also medical redshirted. So this is his 7th year in college this year.
This is the linebacker?
And he's their linebacker, yes. Number 7. Number 7. He changed his number to number 7. He was number 9 before. So
7 for 7 years?
Yeah, 7 for 7. So he is
like
someone
probably.
Huh?
This guy's like 24.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's old as hell. No, I think he's turning 25 this year.
Okay. Yeah.
So but yes, so he's a guy to watch for on defense. I don't think like there's a bunch of stars that are just gonna show out or anything like that. There hasn't really been a lot of transfers in that they've got that I've seen. But I mean, from last year, they had 24 seniors graduate last year. So like, if you lose that many guys on the team, first off, the fact that many seniors are in one class to graduate is kind of crazy. Like, that doesn't usually happen on teams. There's just so much transfer, kickoff, like get out of here. Like that almost sounds like everyone stayed the entire time.
Well, let me say this, Kyler, while you're talking, I got this pulled up, and okay, never mind. I don't want to say it because I thought this was supposed to be. I thought I was pulling up their depth chart for this year, and I was about to read it off because it was very senior and upper class.
Might be last year's.
Oh no! This says okay. So I'll trust their whatever website this is, but it says updated on 8/11/2022. So anyway, so yeah, this should be accurate. But they have, a senior at left guard. They have a senior at right guard. They have a red shirt, a junior at right tackle. So that's decent. I mean, they have a left tackle, and he's a sophomore, but he's a red shirt sophomore, so 3 years in.
Mm-hmm.
And their center is also a redshirt sophomore. So then you go there, and of course I'm looking at line of scrimmages here, but then your D-line, so your defensive end is a redshirt junior, nose tackle senior, defensive end senior. Yeah, there's Martin Brandon. They have him down as GR. So that boy must be a daggum graduate because everything – I've never seen GR ever. I've always seen something.
He coaches too. He's a graduate assistant.
What's that? Yeah, seriously, I've never seen that. It literally says GR. But so they do have some older guys and some senior guys. But anyways, yeah, so I was just going to read that off while you were talking about it.
Yeah, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're, picked to finish last in their division. they're not seen as who they were, because in 2020 they won the MAC. So it was, 2 years ago, but they've fallen off a lot. That's the consensus with everyone and like picks and everything like that. So I feel good about it. I think this is a lot more about us and what we need to accomplish, obviously. I mean, we're 33 and a half points or something like that, 33 points favorites. So I think it's all about us. I think there are guys that are older that have experience, but it really might not matter when it comes down to it.
No, I'm happy that they have experienced guy.
Yeah.
I really am, because I want to be able to try to see a little something maybe. Like, and for me, I read off the offensive defensive line, because like I hope that we go out there offensively and absolutely control the line of scrimmage, which I think is what I think this game is going to be pretty similar to Bowling Green last year. I think we'll put up a little bit more points, because everyone knows what we are now. So I think it's kind of like last year was maybe let's play a little conservative, let's rotate a bunch of people, let's run the ball, let's just see what's going on before we play Pitt.
Yeah.
I think now it's like, bro, we ain't surprising nobody. So like Hypo might go out there and put a 55 burger on somebody, like, you know what I mean? So, but I like the fact that let me watch our offensive line try to move around their defensive line, which they should. And then I really want to see our D line, especially our interior D line, against their interior offensive line. So, I'm happy that they have some seniors, like maybe give us some sort of test. Like I would hate if they had a couple freshmen, a couple redshirt freshmen on there, because it's just gonna be an all out slaughter.
Yeah, that would be a bloodbath.
Yeah. So
I mean, I wrote down things like my very first thing was like, and I kind of mentioned this before, it was like I want to get the starters out. Like I do not want them to be in there as much as possible in the second half. Like if we can get to the point where we're up enough and we can start twos to start the third quarter, please, like, let's do that, because it helps our depth even more to get those twos reps and to get them in game action and to get them able to really make a difference when we get to Pitt and Florida and LSU. Like, we want you to be game changers eventually. So let's get you some game reps.
And you know what, Kyler, you and I talked about this a lot last year, because it's like I'm having flashbacks to last season and some of the stuff that came on. But like when we were beating the hell out of Missouri, and you and I were like, what are we doing? Like pull Hendon out, like pull some of these people out. And it's like, and I felt that way for a couple of games. So like I'm hoping, like you saying that, I'm like, well, Kyler, I hope if we're winning, 42-3 at halftime or in the third quarter, like he starts pulling some people. And I don't know if anyone's ever asked him this. I'm assuming that people have, and I just haven't seen it, but why he leaves some of those people in there so long. But I am happy that you said that, because I will be interested to see what happens with this, with a big jump. A big like we jump on them is what I meant to say, like a big point differential or kind of early.
Yeah. So. And then if I broke it down defensively and offensively, you said something defensively is like interior D lineman. Like that's definitely something I want to see. I want to see Amari Thomas, hopefully, but somebody step up. I want it to be obvious that they're dogging these dudes. And it's like, they can't run counter or power or inside zone because our three technique or our nose is just messing people up. I want to see that. And I want to see a rush with four. I want to see us get to the quarterback with four guys rushing. When there is a third and long, we do not have to send a blitz. We can get there with four. And that depends on our interior guys. It's not our edge guys. We know they can get to the quarterback, but as a defensive end, you can beat the tackle. And if the quarterback has a pocket to step in, it doesn't matter. Like if you beat him around the edge, he just steps up and you miss. So it has to be a cohesive effort. The interior guys have to collapse the pocket, and that's what I want to see out of the defense. DBs and linebackers, do your thing. Like I know who Jeremy Banks is at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I get to see more of Juwan Mitchell, which is nice because, he got hurt early. And I know who these DBs are. I know what they can do. Let's not get beat. I understand if a wide receiver makes a great play, if he makes an amazing play, jumps and one-handers or like really mosses, and you're just like, okay, well, I mean, that was a play. There was still good coverage, but let all that, that's fine. I'm not upset by that. But it's just, prevent the big plays, maybe cause some turnovers, rip at that ball. But defensively, I'm going to concentrate most on interior D line, like for sure.
Yeah, once again, we just think the exact same way. Yeah, so for me offensively, just want to be able to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. So that's what I'm looking for on offense.
Yeah.
Hopefully a pretty clean game offensively too is something else. So not a ton of penalties, not a balls on the ground. So let's see if we can have a pretty clean game. And then I will be interested about our running backs. Like, let's see how many of these guys get some carries. Let's see, how quickly someone maybe gets pulled out.
My last thing says RB rotation. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see some, some maybe even like towards the end we see a walk on or two in there.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think like figuring out the running back rotation is a huge thing. Like, okay, who's number 2 and who's number 3? Like, how do they perform in game action? How is Justin looking? Can he actually be a good back for us? Like, what does he look like when he gets on the field? So really just like figuring out your depth and like who you can put in when Jabari's tired, when Jabari's, got an ankle thing or whatever later on in the season. And then another thing that I want to happen is I do not want Hendon to run the ball. I don't want him to run the ball at all. There's no reason for him to run. We will still win this game without his legs. I don't want him to run the ball. I would rather him, if there are the, option plays where he can pull it and run it himself, I'd rather him give the ball off, Jabari get tackled for -1 or 2 yards, than him pull it, take it, and then possibly get rolled up on, get hurt, get hit, any of that stuff. And in passing, if there's a lane for him to run, unless he slides, I'd rather him throw it away. Like in this game, like it's just like be smart. Don't show everything that you can do as an offense and as a defense. Don't show everything. Maybe you just run your simple power and counter and zone and pitch and outside zone on offense on your run game. You don't run your options off of the defensive end, option off of the 3 technique, option off of the backside linebacker, because there's plays that all do that. And it's like, don't put that on film. Don't let Pitt see that is a play for you guys, so you can take advantage of them. You can take advantage of a wide 3 technique on something. Don't let them know that. Run your simple inside zone to the right, inside zone to the left, outside, counter, power, like simple. Because we can still win this game with simple.
So since I have my coaching stuff on today, I'm going to let you know, Kyler, as a coach on the staff, that we will keep this very simple, and that's not going to happen. So you don't even need to talk about it. Just like Bowling Green last year, they're not going to show a bunch of nonsense. But I do,
Coach Bacon.
If I see one design run for Hendon, I'm going to Anderson Training Facility, and I'm going to have a conversation with Coach like, come to the office, son. I need to talk to you here for a second.
Yeah, puts him at shotgun at the 1 yard line, and he doesn't freaking jumped over the pile. It's like, dude, what? This is Ball State. Chill out.
Yeah. No, that's not going to happen. So anyways, yeah, for me, offensively, it sounds like a lot of the same with you. So interior offensive line, how we control the line of scrimmage, how we run the ball. What's I know you said Justin Williams, Thomas, like, for me, if he's in the game, like, I'm pretty sure if he gets the ball in his hands, he'll be pretty good. But like, what's he going to do on like pass coverage?
Exactly. And how's his pass protection too? I want to know.
I said pass coverage, but I meant pass protection.
Yeah.
So, and then defensively, yeah, I want to see Dejon Terry eat up. I want to see Amari Thomas eat up. I want to see if there's any other guys that we've maybe heard their names, but we maybe haven't seen it on Saturdays. This technically Thursdays this time, but we haven't seen it from them on game day. And then the other thing defensively that I would like to see. So I want to see. I need probably like a 3-sack game, 4-sack game, and I also want to see at least one turnover defensively. Yeah. So
because we got a slow start last year, like we didn't have a turnover till like 4th or 5th game.
No, we had an interception in Pitt.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, we did.
I'm almost positive we did.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But you were talking. I remember us talking about those on the podcast last year because we maybe only had like 1 or 2, and it was like through 5 or 6 games, and you're like, "Hey, I need some balls."
Yes, I remember talking about that. Okay,
yeah, that's it. So if you want to pick one player you're going to be watching, sure, go ahead. If you want to pick, I'm going to pick mine that I'll be watching. If you want to say,
I'm afraid I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I would like take that. I already said like I'm watching interior D line, so I'm not going to pick that. I'm going to watch this not for worry or can this be good? Can this be that? But I'm going to watch Danico Slaughter because putting him in that Theo Jackson spot and the way Theo played last year and all the opportunities he had to make plays, tackles, interceptions, force fumbles, it's Danico's chance. And so I'm excited for whoever if it's someone else, then okay, now that's exciting. Like, okay, who is this? Who is actually playing that star position that they have? So I think I'm excited about that. I'm excited about watch that star position.
It'll be interesting to see who starts at that star position because I think we'll see a lot of rotation in the defensive backfield. Okay, so Danico Slaughter for you. For me, defensively, I'm going to say Deshaun Terry. I could have gone Deshaun Terry or Amari Thomas, but I'll just go with Deshaun Terry.
Yeah.
Offensively, Jalen Hyatt. Oh, I'm just kidding. I mean, Brew McCoy. I had to say both their names because I'm so sick and tired of hearing about it. It's just I'm so sick. Not that I don't dislike them. Like I hope they do great, but it's just like it's a little bit overkill. I'm like, damn, where are all these people last year when we needed Byron Young on the field? Hell with the third or fourth receiver, like we needed Byron Young on the field last year.
Exactly, dude. Not having Byron the first 2 games is way more important than not having freaking Brew.
Yeah, agreed. Offensively, the player I'm going to pick will be who am I going to pick to watch on offense? I will pick.
Mine's pretty obvious.
Who? Running back? Justin Williams.
Jeremiah Crawford.
Yeah.
Starting left tackle.
It's funny you say that because I was going to say Cooper and see how he's doing and playing in there at center and stuff like that. So we'll go offensive line together. Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, sometimes I can't even help myself and I don't even pay attention to the entire play because I'm watching the offensive line.
Did they announce Jeremiah Crawford yet?
I haven't seen anything, but that doesn't mean they haven't announced it. It's not like I'm snooping for it. I saw what I saw and could tell you that there was the competition with Mincy. So who knows? They might honestly, because this is Ball State, like Jeremiah go first possession, Mincy go second.
Right.
Mincy, Jeremiah, Mincy. So they might do that too. Which if they do that, you heard it here first.
Lock of the week. All right. So for me, it is funny because I usually don't bet Tennessee a lot, but I don't also like really betting first week because I haven't got to watch a bunch of people. Now, granted, I say that, and yesterday I did gamble and did like a nice little teaser. I won 3 of the 4 teasers, so I still lost, unfortunately, but that's how teasers go. Anyways, so it's funny because I usually don't bet Tennessee, but I am taking Tennessee just like I did last year, but for the first quarter. So the first quarter. Spread, the first quarter spread on Vegas Insider. So I've not checked it on FanDuel.
No. Where you gotta look on Bet Online.
Tyler, you didn't let me finish. You always jump me on Bet Online. So I'm looking at Vegas Insider because Vegas Insider is just a website. It's not where you can actually go and bet on. and it shows you all the different websites and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what it is on betonline.ag or FanDuel, DraftKings, or whatever the hell all you people use. But for here, it is 9.5 for the first quarter. I love that bet, just like last year for against Bowling Green. I think it was like 7.5. I think, or I don't know, maybe I don't remember what it was, but it was like an absolute cakewalk. I bet it. We easily did it because I think it was like 14-0 at half. Yeah. I mean 14-0 at the first quarter. So I love 9.5 because I think that I think the score will be either 10-0 or 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. So I'm going to go Tennessee minus 9.5 first quarter.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the games are like guaranteed blowout games. They're, this week is like a lot of them are like, hey, the big dogs playing the smaller teams. That there's some key matchups which I want to try and lean into.
Go ahead.
I think it's like super easy to pick the other ones. Just be like, yeah, freaking Oklahoma is going to beat UTEP. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Well, that's not. I mean, but so you're saying like Oklahoma money line? I mean, come on, give me a break.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to pick that. So what I'm going to go with is the Cincinnati Arkansas game.
Okay.
Arkansas is a 6-point favorite, and the over/under is set at 51.5. I'm saying Cincy gets within 6 points. I don't know if they win, but I think they get between 6 points. I don't think Arkansas is that great. Like, they had a fine year last year, and like they are returning, Jefferson at quarterback, and like I have no idea how their defense is, and I love Sam Pittman and all that stuff, but like Arkansas feels to me like an 8-4 team. You know what I mean? Like they don't feel any better than that. So like I feel like a Cincinnati with a coach like Fickle, like they could actually be a surprise to Arkansas and make this game close or even win this game.
Okay. That's one of the games I'm very intrigued to watch.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, I will be in the state of Arkansas while that game's going on, because we're going down to my aunt and uncle and cousin's lake house, which is down there in Arkansas. So the entire weekend when we're down there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, your boy's going to be orange each day. Because I'm telling you, if you go to Arkansas, like, it's pig suey everywhere. Because they don't really have enough. Like, Arkansas doesn't have, like, an NFL team or, like, an NBA team.
No, they have nothing.
There's not another college. So it's pig suey everything, and like you see it everywhere. And so like I'm gonna be wearing my orange all the time. But anyways,
when are we gonna record the pod if you're just enjoying yourself on the lake all weekend?
Maybe you just might have to do it solo. I don't know.
After the first game, I need your input on what happened.
Calm down, we'll figure it out. So, but anyways, what I was gonna say is I love that game. I'm super intrigued about, and I may bet it. If I did, it would probably be a teaser one way or the other. But I like that. So since he catching 6, because I do think I would not be surprised if Arkansas wins. I will not be surprised if Cincinnati wins outright. And I am not going to be surprised at all if it's a close game. Like, I would be a little bit more surprised if someone wins the game by
14.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah. I'd be a little bit more surprised at that. So anyways, I have it written down. I got my bet is UT minus 9.5 first quarter, and your bet is Cincinnati plus 6. Locks of the week. All right, we'll see how that goes. All right, good pod.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
By the way, the rest of this time, don't come on another podcast without orange on, okay?
Okay. I might have to wear the same thing over and over, but yeah.
No, because I'll probably be wearing a lot of Titan stuff when we record on Sundays.
That's true. All right. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you are watching, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please leave a comment, leave a question. Love answering them. Love seeing them. If you're just listening, please rate and review, download, share with your friends and your family. Let them know that like this is going to be the place to go during the season. We are going to give you information on the team we are about to play, and we're also going to break down the game from the previous week and talk about certain plays we like, certain plays we didn't like, what happened on certain things, so you guys kind of understand what's going on throughout the game. So it's a lot of fun. This season is going to be awesome. Cannot wait. If you guys want to follow us on social media at Believe in Tennessee on Twitter is our main account, at rbacon26 for Reed, at Kyler Curbison on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all the same. So follow us there. And just really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being the great and awesome fans you are. We love the support. Love you guys reaching out. You're all the best. As always, go Vols.